Hey, what's up, y'all? So I wanted to come on here. Hello.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
All right, man.
The tide's up.
Yeah, it's coming up, man.
Come on through.
All right, bro.
You can make it through there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, y'all. So I wanted to come on here and share with y'all a story, because that's what this group is here for. And basically what happened today, I was at Lana's house waiting for her. She picked up a really cool thing, a Suncast shed that I saw for $130 in Tampa, and she was already at the VA. And so she went out there and got it, and we're gonna flip it and make hopefully $100. And so I was at Lana's house walking Buddy, and my sister called me. And I don't get to talk to my sister all that often. I've made a few videos over a couple years, about my sister, but she called me on Facebook Messenger, which is really rare. And she wasn't doing well. She just wanted to talk to somebody. And so with Facebook Messenger, you can have the video so you can see each other. And instantly she realized that I could see her, and she turned it around, and she was driving a Jeep, so I couldn't see her face, because she's always dealt with issues, because her face is pocked up and scarred up just from, I guess, just a rough life. I think she's beautiful. She'll always be beautiful, but she's really hard on herself, especially with negative talk. And so we're all the light, and I've really been working on holding space, and for me, that quote unquote holding space is more challenging for me with my family. There could be a lot of reasons why. I could make assumptions why, but it's just hard for me to hold that space. And so she was really upset, and my sister's has had a really rough childhood and life.
Good, huh?
Beautiful, huh?
Oh, man.
Let me show you all this sunset here. Boom. Have a good day. So, my sister hasn't had it easy, y'all. We're all born into this world with different situations. Maybe we were neglected as an infant. Maybe we didn't have proper nutrition as an infant. Maybe one of our parents abandoned us. Maybe we got molested. Maybe we got raped. Maybe we didn't have proper educational. Maybe we didn't have access to food. We all have trauma. And, that's just life. Sadly, people are like, oh, that's just life. Get over it, that's just life. But it is true. Some humans have more wealth than others. Some humans are born in the USA, and some born in different countries. And so it's just what we're dealt with. And not every human being has the same shot, has the same access to information, the same love as an infant or as a child. So we're all coming to this earth in a different situation. And so, we all have a hard time, dealing with that, or maybe we don't. A lot of people say that money solves all the problems in the world. I can tell you right now, from my personal experience, that is not true at all. And I've put that to the test the last 3 years. That is not true at all. But it does help, especially if you need resources or your basic needs provided. Basic needs: food, shelter, safety, running water, electricity. Basic needs. You would be blown away at how many human beings on planet Earth, in America, or all around the world, do not have your basic needs met. And when you do not have your basic needs met, you are living out of fear. How am I gonna pay this ticket off? How am I going to pay these taxes? How am I going to get this food? How am I going to sleep tonight because it's 20 below and I'm homeless? And so we all have our stuff. And you can make bad choices in life that can make it more difficult. You can make all the right choices in the world. If you're born into poverty, you're still way behind of millions of other people that weren't born into poverty. And so for me, especially being in the homeless shelter, especially having this group, and especially trying to put what I have learned with real counseling, and just, trying to heal myself, everybody's in a different situation. Not everybody can cope with things like your neighbor. Not everybody can cope with certain things like you can cope with things. If you're trying to heal yourself and it took you 5 years to get where you're at, maybe you could beat 1 million people that don't even know what healing is. Why? Because they're trying to find food. They're trying to find safety. They're trying to forgive themselves. They're trying to, get rid of the negative talk. Maybe they're addicted to drugs. It's just so much stuff in life that we all have to fight through and deal with. And I try my hardest not to judge. And so with my sister, it's been very difficult with her. I love her so much. So much. And she's had a very rough life. She's been incarcerated a lot of the times. She has 5 children. She doesn't have custody of any of them. My sister is a beautiful person. My sister is a very caring person. She's had to hustle the streets, walk the streets. She's been in and out of jail, in and out of, halfway houses, and a lot of those were her bad decisions. But my sister has never had her basic needs met. There's been a lot of trauma in her childhood that I definitely have no right to speak on. And, I hope one day, that she'll be able to speak her truth, and stop the negative talk, and try to heal herself and do positive talk. And what I'm realizing is she doesn't have a support group. When you're running the streets, a lot of that is toxic, so you don't have a support group. And, family can help you, or sometimes family can help you with money, and it might not be a lot. It might get you through a month or two. But if the family member that's helping you isn't in the healing space in their life and is fighting their own demons and maybe think that, this $200, this $2,000 is going to help, and that they're good, but they're not getting therapy and they're not healing their hearts. And maybe when you get along with that family member and you all two are both doing toxic things together, that turns out pretty toxic. And so there's like so many more things that I want to say, but I can't, just because I don't want to tell personal things. I feel like I've already said personal things about my sister, but there's so much more. And, basically my sister's homeless right now. And my niece, Caitlin, she's almost 18 years old. And her father, Ryan, got remarried. Basically, Ryan's parents raised my daughter's firstborn, which is my niece, Caitlin. And she did real well till like 15, 16. And then, she moved in. I think she, like when she was 14 or 15, she moved back in with her father, who got remarried. They got divorced, and now he lives in a trailer. And this is just what my sister tells me. And there's a bunch of stories. Everybody has their own story. So Ryan, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. So now I guess my Caitlin, my daughter's sister, is getting in trouble at school, and she's a junior. And, she's calling my sister, "Mom, I need help. Please help me. I don't have food. I'm living in this trailer with my dad, and, there's no electricity. There's no water. I don't have any food. Please help me. Please help me." And my sister is losing it, because after all these decades of her, living her life the way that she could do her best, that she is doing her best to fight her demons and to do her best with what she has. She makes a mistake, she tries to fix it. When you get in that legal system and you get in and out of, jail and prison and warrants and fines, it's almost impossible to get out of that. It's almost impossible to get out of that. And the way my sister talks, does upset me sometimes. She's like, "Well, do I have to suck a bunch of N-word dicks to get out of this? I'll just keep doing that." And she said it as a joke, and I didn't laugh. And I think, those are wrong words to say. And, she just has so much negative talk. She works the streets, and she's drinking a lot of vodka right now, a lot of vodka. And, she has hepatitis C. She's had 5 children. She isn't the healthiest. And with all that, the negative talk, not thinking that you are worthy of love worthy of acceptance, not having a group of support, you know, and you know, and she thinks negative things about my mother. And a lot of times, you know, my sister is like my mom, my niece is like my sister. That's not true. Those are mean things to say. You know, our family members have said that. And when you say mean things to people like that, especially when they're down in the dirt and they don't have any money, and and you know, maybe they're, you know, having, you know, problems with, you know, addiction or whatever. And if you say negative things, they're going to start believing that. And then they're going to start repeating it, and it's self-talk. And then when you're, you know, really down in the dumps and you're drinking vodka and you can't help your daughter and you feel like your life is worthless, you're going to be down in the dumps. And, you know, I honestly think it comes down to every human being should have their basic needs met. Shelter, food, water, electricity. Why is that so hard? Why is that so hard? And I'm going to go on a crazy fucking rant right now. This military industrial crap that's gone on for, you know, hundreds of years, when we spend, you know, $2 trillion, $3 trillion a year for that, and you go, you know, to Skid Row in California, you go to basically any metropolitan city, even a small city, you go to a city and look at the homeless epidemic. Look at the for-profit prisons. You know, there's a prison that's about ready to go, you know, out of business because they don't have enough prisoners. So now, you know, police have to get more quotas. In everything that we think is true, in everything that we think is factual, are basically concepts built by human beings before us. The military is a concept. The government is a concept. Religion is a concept. It worked then. You know, do you think we should be, you know, electing people online now, or we should have the same Congress and Senate because we had to do certain things for the mail post office because we were on a horse and buggy? Well, now we have Bitcoin. You know, now we have electric cars. And so things need to be, all these concepts need to be broken and torn down. And new concepts should be created by the people, not the 1%, not the rich and wealthy. They don't have to live out of fear. They can buy their way out of jail, buy their way out of, you know, whatever it is. You know, I mean, if you're a rapist, if you're a pedophile, if you're a murderer, if you're a thief, you know, I think the thief can be, you could probably get 1 or 2 chances on a thief. But basically those things, okay, yeah, your basic needs should not be, you know, I believe in second chances, really depend on the severity of what it is that you're doing. You know, there's definitely, you know, layers on that. But if you're a human being, you should have your basic needs met. And I'm optimistic that's going to happen. I truly, truly am. In 2020, we're living in the future. In 15 years, 29, 30 years, 40 years, I truly believe new concepts are going to be built. Because when you don't have your basic needs met, you're living out of fear. You don't have time to think for yourself. You don't have time to heal. You don't have time to heal. And then when you're eating all of this crap food, and maybe born in the projects, and you ninja flip outside and all there is people slinging drugs all over the place and shootings all over the place, you know, you're almost, you know, a concept of your own environment. And until we have our basic needs met, you can't, there's no time. We're all stressed out. We're all in a hurry to make money, to pay the tax man, you know, whatever it is, there's no silence. You can't sit with yourself. And if you've screwed up, you know, try to get your mind right. Have a week of time to try to go get a support group. You know, and the system is built to keep the less fortunate, the less people with less, this paper money, down, sick, so they die. And it's control, it's power. And it really upsets me because I put myself in certain situations intentionally so I can speak upon it from personal experience. So I don't read something or hear something and then repeat it and know that that is my truth. I am chasing my personal sovereignty. I will have my personal sovereignty. I believe everybody should have their own personal sovereignty. Nobody owns anyone. But when you have these concepts of government and you have this concept of paper money and class, the 1%, the middle class, the people that are in poverty, you know, I mean, there's reparations. I think black people should have reparations. I think the American Indians, all Indians should have reparations. All of this is just power, greed, and money. And it doesn't allow people that might not have, maybe not as trauma as you, maybe not as much trauma as you. Maybe they did have an abundance of love as an infant or as a child. Maybe they got healthier food. Maybe they weren't raped, maybe they weren't molested, maybe they weren't physically abused, maybe mentally abused. Whatever it is, that stuff sticks. And when you don't have your basic needs met and you're hurt and you don't have time to heal, the odds are you're gonna hurt other people. Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people gossip about other people. Hurt people don't want to see other people do good. In general. And so if we didn't have to work this 40-hour work week, these 5, if we just had time to chill and relax and speak and speak our mind without being in fear of being arrested or censorship or judged, maybe we'd have a time to heal ourselves, and maybe we can mend relationships. Whether if it's a bad divorce, or maybe if it's your spouse, or maybe it's your baby's daddy or your baby's mom, and maybe, you can have a time to okay, let's think about this, Let's think about this. It's such that word is a rat race. And it hurts me so much that I've helped my sister over the last couple decades. When I was making $180,000 a year and I had a 3-story building, with everything I ever thought of that I wanted, I let my sister in, I gave her a couple grand, my dad has done that a couple of times, but that's not providing a place, let's just say a box, meaning an apartment, a condo, or a house. This is yours. This is yours. This is yours. Do with it what you want, but at least you have the opportunity that this is yours. The bank can't take it. Whoever gave it to you can't take it. Why in 2020, why can we not do that? Go get in your car and drive around and look at all of the land. Money's not the issue, y'all. And I think that's going to be fixed. I've been talking for the last 3.5 years. Disruption is coming. Wells Fargo just got fined $3 billion. The coronavirus, the stock market's down 4,000 points in a week. Digital currency, the Bitcoin, is going to revolutionize this thing. So the banks aren't going to have control anymore. Chaos. There's going to be money grabs. There's going to be more concepts are going to be built. And I am optimistic, and I hope that the younger generation in total feels this, sees this similarity, and can come together as a human race and create a new concept where everyone is equal. No matter your race, your skin, your ideology, the color of your skin, your religious, whatever it is, your gender, it should not matter. It should not matter. There is so much money out there, so much resources wasted. And it's to keep the upper class. And it hurts me. It hurts me that I can't do anything. And then my sister got upset with me, because hurt people. And I give myself an A- at that conversation. I've been working so hard to better myself so I can serve others. Whatever I unlearn and learn that I see that helps me and that benefits me, I call that a superpower. It's knowledge that I put into practice so I can heal my heart and become a better person. I'm going to give that to other people. And on that conversation, I gave myself an A-. I didn't get upset with her attacks. I didn't get upset with her, with her tactics that she uses. She hung up on me. She said, Tom, you and I can always move at Dad's house, don't you think? And she's struggling, she's hungry, she can't help her own daughter. And it just upsets me. And I just got approved, for the stuff that I've been going through for the VA pension as a Navy combat vet. And so I have a little bit of money. And that money means nothing to me. That money's going to stack up so I can help other people. And I had kind of an issue with my brain because after I got off the phone with my sister, I'm thinking, how can I help her? How can I help her? And I was treating my sister in my brain, trying to troubleshoot and trying to be of a resource of what can I do to help my sister. I was treating my sister different, less of what I would have treated a complete stranger. And so now I have some money, so I'm going to reach out to my niece and I'm gonna say, hey, is there anything that I can do to help you? And listen to her. And if there's anything that I can do, if there's any resources, any knowledge that I have, you know, because my cup is more than full right now. You know, I've gone through a lot, but I can help. So hopefully a conversation, you know, just listening to her, you know, if she asks for advice, I can give that. And if maybe she needs a few $100s, I will send that to her. And then, you know, if I'm gonna reach out to my sister, when she hung up on me and I wrote her and I said, I forgive you for hanging up on me. I love you. Call me anytime. I wouldn't have said that a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a decade. You know, I just, you know, I'm in a better spot. Yes, I'm homeless. Yes, I don't have, you know, the resources that everybody thinks you need to have. I truly believe, you know, as long as my basic needs are met, I don't need much now, y'all. I don't want material things zapping my energy. I don't want the responsibility of stuff. So I learned that on my own. I had all the stuff in the world, the cars, the girls, the gambling, you know, the money, the clout. I thought I had it all, and I was unhappy. I was a shell of myself. I didn't know who I was. I was judgmental. I was toxic. I was a womanizer, and I was not a very, very good person. I was a very good person, but at that time, I was not a good person. Because I made some bad choices. And I didn't have a chance to heal. All the way back from when I was 3 years old. From when I was 16, 23. I didn't give my chance. I didn't allow myself, or I couldn't figure out what are my basic needs? What kind of space can I get into where I can heal? We're all hurt. My goal is to levitate, meditate, piss glitter, and smell like peaches. That means 100% healed. Is it doable? I think so. Am I going to be 169 when I achieve it? Probably. But I'm not going to give up on trying to heal myself, because I am not doing my best effort. I am not being the best human I can be if I'm not the best human that I can be. I cannot serve others and help others if I'm not the most optimal father, the most optimal friend, the most optimal man that I can be. And so I'm not going to sell myself short. So yeah, I've tripped myself up with mistakes. I've made some bad decisions, you know, but now through the homeless shelter, you know, swallowing my pride, getting rid of that ego, you know, doing the counseling I have, you know, and building this group, I'll tell you right now, my number one priority online is this group. This group. And another thing that I was enlightened to, that, you know, came to me today, is that the people that play in this group, there's 50,000 people. You know how much pain is that everybody in this group is feeling, and really maybe only 1% make a post about it. And so sometimes when somebody lashes out to you in comments, that's because they're hurt. And yeah, I have a strict policy about, you know, no HATE, no judgment, no bigotry, none of that stuff. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are, you know, that don't like themselves right now, that wish that they can be a better person. And until all humans have their basic needs met, there's always going to be an issue. And yeah, there'll probably be an issue then too, but you know, I would do anything. Ask me to do anything. I would do anything right now, whatever it took. If a magical genie, a ninja flipped right behind that bush, right by this beautiful sunset right now, is like, Tommy, you do ABC, I promise you that your sister will have her basic needs met, that will be her own, that nobody can take away, that nobody can use against her. And I will provide that for her for the rest of her life. I'm like, let's go. What do I have to do? What do I have to do for that to happen? And I believe that should already be a right as a human being. There's so much money and politics wasted on BS that you all don't even know. And if you think you know, you still don't know. Because there's stuff that we all don't know. But times are changing. And, you know, not everybody's into social media. And I wish my sister would ninja flip in here and do something. A lot of people are scared of social media. You know, I wish my mom would come in here and talk. I wish my dad would come in here and talk. The last conversation I had with my dad was pretty good, but then at the end, he got upset because I said, Dad, our family has been broken from day one. And he doesn't like to hear that. I'm like, Dad, let's go get some therapy. He said, Tom, I don't need therapy. I'm a realist. What? 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 Our family has been broken. There's no communication. There's so much hurt in our family. Drugs, alcohol, abuse, all of it. You name it, it is in my family. No one's healing themselves. I am breaking that chain. I can guarantee you it's not affecting my daughter. That chain is broken. It's not affecting my daughter. I am so grateful that my first wife, you know, we had our issues, but I'm so grateful that she is able to care for my daughter and her stepdad, which she can call father all day long because Scott's a great man. They're both professionals in the Air Force and air traffic controllers, and they took really good care of my daughter. And I'm there for my daughter whenever she needs me. And that has been broken. So even in my darkest moments, that didn't rub off on her. You know, she doesn't carry the Collins legacy. You know, I've got such beautiful chapters ahead of my life where, you know, I want to get a van so I can go see all the rock and rad stars, meet them, keep learning, keep forgiving myself, get on the grid, get to Homestead. My daughter ever needs me, there'll be a beautiful garden, beautiful homestead. She can, you know, come visit with me. She always can talk to me. I want to have a son, you know. It's just I've broken that. That's not happening on my watch anymore. The toxicity, the hurt, the pain, the darkness, that regret, you know, I'm not down with that anymore. And, you know, I'll go talk to my half-brothers who did me wrong and who have been in prison. I'll go talk to them. I'll talk to them anytime. I don't have any resentment towards them. I don't have any resentment towards my mother. I don't have any resentment toward my dad. I have forgiven everybody. And to this day, I will help them any way that I can. Any way that I can. And that is hard to do. That is very hard to do. Especially when you don't have an abundance of what they call money. And a lot of times, money can solve a lot of issues, but in the long run, money can't money can't create happiness, maybe for a short term. But what can help is basic needs met. So you don't have to go hustle. You don't have to go sell your body. You don't have to go steal. You don't have to go manipulate. You don't have to go do all that stuff. Basic needs, y'all. Basic needs. That's why I liked Andrew Yang. He's like, universal income. Everybody at the Heartbeat gets $1,000. Boom. Basic needs. I'm telling you, I am very optimistic that that's going to happen. I think it'd be a huge thing. And, you know, I'm going to tag my sister in this video. And if any of you all can give her any advice, reach out to her. I mean, I've tried to do this many, many times for my sister. You know, even, you know, decades ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I, you know, tried to help her. My dad has helped her tremendously. But now she's in a really bad space, y'all. You know, she's got hepatitis C. You know, she's got warrants out for her arrest. You know, she doesn't have any of her children. She can't help my niece. And so any words of encouragement I would be beyond grateful for all of you if you could just be uplifting and supportive under the comment that I read, because I'll tag her in any comments that you write. You know, maybe you can maybe there's a story that you can resonate with, anything that I said. Maybe tell that story so she doesn't feel so alone, because all of us have pain. No one's better than anybody. You know, maybe you had more resources as a young child. Maybe your parents were wealthy. Maybe you had an opportunity to go to a better school. Maybe you weren't born in the ghetto. You know, maybe you got a little lucky out of the prison. Whatever it is. But we all have pain, and we all deserve a chance to heal. That's what I believe. I believe we all have self-love, no matter how dark it is in your heart right now. You know, I believe we all have self-love. You just have to harvest it and harvest it and harvest it. And sooner than later, you will believe it. You will believe in yourself. You will love yourself. Then you won't have that negative talk. If somebody says something negative to you, it will ricochet right off of you like that if you have that self-love. I'm to the point right now where I'm so grateful where I don't even have to explain myself what it is that I'm doing. And I get asked all the time, so what's your end game, Tom? You know, you're homeless. You know, what is your future? I don't have to explain that anymore, because the first thing that I say is I'm happy and healthy. And right there, that's fucking golden. That is so golden. 3 years celibate, 3 years sober, and I'm happier and healthier than I've ever been. Come get some of that. I don't need the resources. I'm glad that my basic needs are taken care of. And the 3 years of hard work, I needed 3 years. 3 years just to get here. 3 years of trying to heal. And I'm not even close. So let alone, if you don't have your basic needs and you're living on the streets, hustling, all that stuff, how are you even gonna get 10 minutes? How are you gonna get 10 minutes to sit with your shit and get some quietness and a decent meal and not to be looking over your shoulder? Someone's gonna stab you, someone's gonna rip you off. You can't even get 10 minutes? It's taken me 3 years just to get here. And I'm a noob. I'm new at this. So thank you so much for listening to me, y'all. I'm gonna give you what I'm looking at right now. Thank you so much for giving me this time, listening to my story. If there's any uplifting words that you have in your heart that you can give my sister, any advice, any support, I'm forever grateful for all of you. Thank you so much for teaching me so much over the last 3 years, being there for me, the messages. This group is my everything, y'all. This group is my everything. It works. I'm telling you, it works. As always, thank you so much. I couldn't even end it with a really cool keep it raw, stay rad. But for real. Heal your heart, y'all. It works. Harvest that self-love. Put out 1 billion apologies if you have to. Say you're fucking sorry. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Forgive those past chapters. You have to be kind to yourself. You can't be kind to other people if you're not kind to yourself. I love you all. Thank you so much for everything.